So yeah, John and I were talking earlier today, just about how it might be smart. I don't know, considering like the first test one was fine, like it was good for a first time, but
Yeah.
John made a good point that like a podcast is super easy to make, and a lot of people do it, and there's already a couple of successful ones in like the Bucks market.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're gonna do this, it's probably right to take the time to actually
do it right.
Do it right and be
right.
It's not just like a week goes by and we don't do another one, or 2 weeks go by and then we do one, and then like let's have a concrete schedule.
Because the good ones have consistency and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So what I was thinking is like real generally, because does this time work good for you guys?
Yeah. I mean, I just have class I have night classes Wednesday from 6 to 9. That's my only hurdle.
Okay.
I have class only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm done at 6:15. So anytime after that on any days, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm thinking like
that's what I was saying about like everyone, like we don't all have to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's just nice that it doesn't have to be a 4-person thing always, just because of the schedule, and that could be actually beneficial because we can get out more than one in a week. Then you know what I mean?
Right.
What about
we have 2 people? We should be able to podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we should definitely find a time that works for all of us. Like, but like obviously we won't be able to get there every week, but just definitely like a concrete time somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. Central Time on a weekday or a Sunday. To be honest, Sundays are always easy just because there's nothing going on.
Yeah. What about Monday nights?
I'm good. Why don't you guys fill out that spreadsheet?
Oh yeah, wait, where's that spreadsheet?
I'll send it to you guys again, but
yeah,
because I think that would be a lot easier to do.
Yeah. Only issue for Mondays is I do that Packers radio show thing until usually around 8:30 is when I get back. So, which is doable. Like a 9 o'clock is obviously not that bad, but yeah, we'll fill out that timesheet, and then we'll get those times.
Yeah, and then maybe like once every week we can just kind of write like a schedule, because I know like obviously like everyone has like tests and stuff like that, so we can just pick like maybe like Monday morning we'll like actually like make a sign up sheet on Excel, and we'll just like I
say the first deadline we meet every week is Sunday night. Sunday night we set which day we're gonna record.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Because I feel like once Monday morning comes around, everyone's just forgetting to do shit.
Right.
Sunday night, we set.
Perfect. That's a good call. Write that down. Yeah.
So Sunday night we set what night we'll record. I think whatever night we do record post the episode, we plan the next week's. Essentially, get some ideas. Obviously, it's going to depend on what's going on.
Right.
Everything's timely, but like some of the things John and I wanted to introduce, we could plan each week, which I mean maybe that's a segue into like specifics. How do you guys feel about like a guest?
I like the idea of a guest. Well, I mean Al's was kind of hesitant on the whole guest idea just because he doesn't want someone that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about on here. But I like the idea of getting of someone that we do know, like even if it's like one of our friends that we know is knowledgeable, or if it's like a classic Twitter head like Sith Lord or something like that. To be honest, I like the idea of just DMing like big name people on Twitter. Not big name, but like Bucks guys.
Big name.
Yeah, guys like like guys that like probably that we all follow. So something like that, or people that have a reputable or a following, some sort of.
Yeah, because that gains credibility then.
And once they're on it, they're obviously going to retweet it to their followers, and then their followers see the podcast. So that's a good way to network without only posting it on Cream City Central. So I like that idea. And then I guess circling back to what we were talking about, I like the idea of only having 2 to 3 topics per, unless you're only doing a 2-man operation, in which case you can get up to like 5. But even when we did those 3 between the 4 of us, like I think it ran to like 25 minutes, and it like floated to 30. Like
I say 20-minute cutoff.
Yeah, 20-minute cutoff. And I really just think that having, 2 Bucks topics and then like a third, something that's not Bucks related.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. The Shepherd Express, which Dylan, I don't know if but they post some of our articles, like at least two a month.
Yeah.
They said that if we, in some way, and they're pretty ambiguous about it, but give them a shout out, whether it would be like reference one of their food articles or reference one of their news articles or music articles, or like they do events or like stuff with film, like the film industry in Milwaukee. Right. If we do like some reference to that, even if it was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, just like, hey, let's pause in the middle of this, like, give thanks to our sponsor, blah, blah, blah. They'd be more than happy.
We could do like a Shepherd Express like minute of the podcast, and but it would be like just like cool things that are going on in Milwaukee in reference to them.
100%. That's a hell of an idea. We should do a Shepherd. We should call it the Shepherd Express, like a Shepherd Express. And it's literally just like an express minute of us, like giving them a quick shout out and all that bullshit.
They'll Shepherd put it on Express Milwaukee Minute.
Yeah,
something like that, right? And just do something that's going on in Milwaukee, whether it be music, the Milwaukee Film Festival.
Yeah, whatever's going on.
A dog walk, whatever. Yeah.
And they said they'll embed it on their site then, which would be huge because they're like a legit fucking site. Like they have like hundreds of thousands of traffic every 2 weeks.
That would help us for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. So definitely.
And their sports suck. Their sports site sucks. So like they're always looking to amp it up. So we have a lot of leverage with like what else we could do with them, and this would be one way to keep getting our foot in the door.
100%. That's a really good idea. I like that idea. Okay, perfect.
So that's like something we should set. Like who's gonna? I think we can mix it up each week. Like who's gonna be the one to do the research and be prepared to do the Shepherd Express?
Well, what we should do is on Sunday when we decide who's doing it on what days, then we can do like what you need. That's what I was talking about. Like if we have more time to like formulate arguments and like figure shit out, it'll get better.
Yeah. Okay, and then another idea to kind of mix it up I had is, okay, so we have that dope intro. Like, John, that was sick. What if, because, like, I don't know, Andrew, I know you're not in Milwaukee.
Right.
But, like, there's, like, weirdly, like, a subculture of, like, music in the city. Like, John can attest to this. There's, like, a pretty strong following to, like, local artists.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah.
Like, people go to these small theaters all the time to see people. Right. And, like, these names actually are recognizable. I'd say, like,
dude. I was about to say, real quick, Attic Jams is just like a music. Yeah. They do like a local music thing where they throw literally just like attic parties, and they bring like one local person. I bet if we could connect with them and like somehow connect with Attic Jams and like get their kind of like whoever, I don't know who runs it or any of that bullshit, but like same thing with Shepherd Express. Give them a shout out, and then somehow like they'd know how to incorporate music into our podcast probably better than we would. So.
And they might be able to give us like some licenses for some people's music.
Right.
Yeah.
If we could play like a 30 we could like promote like artists and shit, like throw 30 seconds on or whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like the outro music or something. Like here's the song of the week type shit.
Song of the week. Perfect. That type of stuff. Your Milwaukee song of the week.
And like the last minute and a half of it is the last minute and a half of the cast is just playing that song. And it just
something like that. For sure. All right, I like that idea.
Because these are just guaranteed retweets. Because someone's the guy who wrote it, and all his friends are gonna retweet that shit. Because they get hype when their boy has that song on some. Like,
yo.
Bump it on the timeline.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. In terms of like, so we got a music or a song. We got the Shepherd Express. I think that's kind of good for like outside Buck stuff. I mean, it's only gonna be a 20-25 minute podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't do too much.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other ideas to like switch it up? I mean, non-Bucks related. Maybe like one more idea. Did you guys have any, Dylan or Andrew, anything that you guys were thinking of, or?
I mean,
go ahead.
I would like the Shepherd Express. I think that's a good idea. That's a good way to like mix it up. Incorporate. I think that'll incorporate a lot of new stuff that we normally wouldn't talk about.
Right.
But as far as like additional like outside resources, I don't really have one just because, you don't want to get too far,
One of these I thought of, John, I think I proposed this to you because John and I actually have season tickets to the Bucks and John goes every game pretty much. We could do something where like John features like he could try something new to eat every week at the Bradley Center.
Oh yeah, that was a good idea. Yeah, like food. Oh, definitely a Milwaukee food related. That's another thing.
People love.
We might do music one week. We might do.
Yeah.
I definitely think.
I think we should have a rotating thing. Like,
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because we want to keep it like mainly about.
Yeah, you don't want to have
obviously.
like right. You want to have like 2 Bucks things, and you want to have either like music. You want to have food.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have one other thing.
So that could fit within the Shepherd Express Milwaukee Minute.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do like.
Maybe that could be a separate at the end.
The Shepherd Express probably would be like something that'd be like a mainstay probably of our show, and then have one other thing. Yeah, because I mean we're only trying to get it to a minute. Right. So so do the Shepherd Express thing, and then one other thing, whether it be food, whether it be music, whether it be I don't know what other things are there.
Well, I thought something would be cool is that like I know I like kind of decently know Mark Miller. And I think it'd be dope if we did like a top 10 regional boys hoops thing, and then they got with sports behind it.
That'd be sweet.
Regional sports, right? Yeah, definitely regional sports.
Like high school basketball.
That's
like high school basketball.
All right, for sure. When does high school basketball start?
I think November. The 13th is the first practice.
Okay, perfect. Definitely incorporate high school basketball.
I think Al would like that a lot.
Yeah, I would love that.
Especially with like Hero and McCabe and all those,
What if we just kept things simple and each, instead of like a consistent guest, you did a guest of the month, and then we pick from kind of like what we've talked about. Like maybe it could be a high school athlete 1 month, or maybe it could be a Milwaukee musician 1 month, or maybe it could be like a writer who's covering something for the Shepherd Express and wants to talk more about it.
For sure.
Instead of, I don't know, I can see what Al's saying, but I also really like the idea of a guest. So we could just start with like once a month.
Yeah, we'll ease into it, and then he'll once he figures out that it works, we'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, like, just talking about like the framework of the actual podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start like a Google Doc, and I'm gonna share it with you guys, and I'm just gonna like point it out like we're going through the show, like intro. First Bucks topic, first person monologue, second person monologue, response time. Like I think if we just have that like timed out, it'll be a lot easier to get a consistent thing every week.
100%. Time out the responses for sure. I like that idea.
Yeah, I mean, because like you want it to be natural, obviously. Like in like what I was saying, like with that first take, like I think that's kind of like what more like sports media is headed to, because like everyone watches that, like Skip and Shannon and shit like that. So I feel like if we develop like obviously we all have personalities more so strong or whatever, but I think you just want to really get that out there because that's what people like listen to it for. Because like when people listen to Stephen A. Smith talk, they just love listening to him because he sounds like an idiot.
Right. It's just the personality. You definitely want to get your personalities out there. Right. I mean, like what Al was saying, I agree. Where the Frank and do you guys listen to Lockdown Bucks?
No.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just their personalities do get blended in together, and they're pretty much the same person in terms of thinking about the Bucks. So definitely getting different personalities out there and all that kind of stuff.
And it's like even if you don't like, that's not your actual opinion, just to get like another thought out there, just to get more people talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Pretty productive.
Yeah, got some good stuff.
Well, I just sent you guys the link to that Excel sheet.
Okay.
And then we can figure out our schedules for this week, and then we'll just, I guess, plan it out on Sunday.
Yeah, real quick. Do you guys want to do, just because I can do it this week. Should we do a song this week? Should we do something with food, or should we do like sports?
When's the next Bucks game?
Tonight and then Friday.
Is the Friday one at home?
No, it's against Detroit.
Yeah. We have 5 home games this year or this month.
Dude, our schedule gets pretty brutal after this game.
Yeah, I mean we've had a shit. I mean I've watched I think I've only watched 2 games at my house. I've watched like every game at the game so far.
Dude, I wish I could go to every freaking single game. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice atmosphere. But so what are we thinking? Food? Yeah, I mean, I could always go to Ridley. Like he's always working with working with Reggie Banks and all that. Like rap. I mean,
it'd be just for the first one. It'd be so easy, and then that'll open the door to other people.
Yeah, for sure. And then what would when we're doing it? Would we just kind of like welcome them to the show and then kind of like incorporate a couple Bucks? I mean, I'm sure like
they like
these
the
hip hop guys are.
Well, what I was thinking is we don't even need to. Maybe the first one we don't have a guest, but what if we just did like the first time around like a featured song?
A featured song. All right. Yeah. Sure. For sure.
It's simple to start.
I mean, yeah, Ridley did just come out with a pretty fucking fire song that he showed me the other day, and we could damn near just do that. It's Cardi Banks. It's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe that could be like a release for it or some shit.
Yeah, some shit like
that's
that.
some shit we should get on.
Like press public releases.
Ooh, that would be. Ooh, I'm gonna hit Ridley up about that. Yeah, definitely gonna hit him up. That's a hell of an idea.
All right, because then it'll force people to listen too. Okay, I think we got a good one. So let's for sure by Sunday try to set a time for next week. That's just the first deadline we got to meet.
Okay, and then fill out that Excel sheet I just sent. I just put it in the group chat, and then I'm gonna work on the Facebook one. I think it should be there.
I just got the Google Hangouts. That's all I have so far.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna share.
Yeah, you'll send it.
Can you just send me your emails and then I'll share it?
Yeah.
Everyone just throw their emails in the group chat real quick.
And then I'll work on. I'm gonna work on making the framework and the outline. I mean, obviously we don't have to stick to it, but I just want to get it all timed out so we at least have some structure.
For sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then I can also, just so we know now, I'll talk to the Shepherd and get an idea of what they'd rather have us talk about. Because obviously I'd like to please them the most. Like whether it be food or, just get an idea for what they'd like to see us talk about. And then we can pick from there.
Yeah. All right.
Dope.
All right.
Go Bucks. They need a fucking lead.
See ya.